Hey everyone, welcome to Santa Barbara Talks with Josh Molina. I'm holding up CM Punk. He's an action figure. I collect wrestling action figures. I've collected them since I was a little kid. CM Punk's one of my heroes because he's a rebel. He's anti-establishment. He speaks his mind. He's a punk guy, right? I can't really be that in real life because I'm a journalist and my opinions belong in my head and in my inner circle, not in my stories. But on this immigration issue, I need to say a little something because people have been asking me and getting a ton of email and comments on social media. Sadly, most of them, negative. So I want to just talk a little bit, regardless of your views on immigration, illegal immigration, or whatever you want to call it. I'm comfortable saying in my role as a journalist that I find it despicable that children are separated from their families in these raids. I find it horrific that some people overlook this fact when talking about the raids in Los Angeles and California or Ventura or Carpinteria. And I find it sad that some people can't feel a sense of human decency or articulate a sense of human decency when it comes to these matters. For a lot of observers out there, these raids are just political issues to them. They hate Democrats in California and they want to use this as an opportunity to call out Democratic leaders and, in this case, Salud Carbajal. Now, I'm a journalist and I've been reporting on Salud Carbajal for 20 years. And I'm not here to defend him. I'm not here to criticize him. Clearly, a majority of constituents like him and vote for him. He keeps getting reelected. Too many people are way too willing to make this a politics issue. They want to blast Carbajal, they want to blast Newsom, they want to blast Democrats, they want to blast the Democratic Party, and that's certainly you're right? It's not hugely surprising that people would want to take a real life issue that affects people and turn it into a opportunity to run or challenge or call out Democrats. That's fine, right? That happens, but I really just have a hard time making this a politics issue when families are being separated, when people are being snatched up, with no warning at all. I'm not thinking about Salute or Democrats or Republicans. I would never even judge somebody by their party registration. In the first place, I judge people by how they treat me and how they treat others. And that's what's on my mind right now, not politics. There has to be a better way to enforce immigration laws than randomly arresting and detaining individuals on the streets or working at farms. Separating a mother from her children is one of the most cruel acts anyone can commit. The other thing people say is that, oh, Josh, these are violent criminals, that they must be deported. Of course, it's hard to argue against that point, right? If there are violent criminals who are in this country illegally, yes, they should be the focus. They should be the target. They should be the ones that the government is trying to find and remove from this country. But a majority of the people being detained are not that. In fact, of the 351 detained in the recent Carpinteria sweeps, and well, I should say Carpinteria and Camarillo, we don't actually know how many in Carpinteria, but according to the Department of Homeland Security, only four at both of the Glass House farms were these violent criminals, okay? There must be a better way to target these violent felons that don't involve deporting people who are working hard to support their families. There's just a certain amount of callousness in the comments on social media and internet spaces that seem to dismiss this fact that most of the people being deported are human beings, hardworking human beings. Even if you hold an extreme view on immigration, it's hard to understand how anyone thinks that it would be okay to snatch up people abruptly and take them away with no regard to their lives. There are many questions to be answered regarding the recent raids. Glasshouse farms should be investigated, and child exploitation should not be tolerated. And of course, people should not be throwing rocks or shooting weapons at agents. That's unacceptable too. But for all of us, regardless of your party registration, we should be outraged that families are being separated in these raids. Most of these people are not violent criminals. They do the jobs most Americans would never do. And children are children, no matter where they are born. They should be having fun. They should be learning. They should be safe. They should be experiencing life with as little or no trauma as possible. These violent deportations are going to wreck a generation of children, and all human beings, regardless of Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever, should care about that. While it's a legal crime to enter the country illegally, I don't consider it a moral crime for a father and a mother to risk their own lives to get to this country to make money by working labor jobs for their families. They're seeking a greater quality of life and living, for the most part, invisibly among us. All right. They're not doing any harm to anyone. The contributions are good in that they are working and providing for us in many ways that we absolutely need, right? Organic produce, farms, food, our kitchens, our homes, right? These individuals are important. They do important jobs and they're human beings. Regardless of your view on immigration policy and law and reform, no one should be happy when families are being separated. And no one should be cheering that mothers are being snatched away with no warning, leaving their children unattended at home to have to take care of themselves. As a journalist, I will continue to be fair in my coverage. I've always felt as a journalist that it's important to talk to everybody, as many sides as possible. A journalist has more influence and power and can reach more people if the people out there feel like they can trust the journalist to provide fair coverage. And I will continue to do that and continue to hold up a mirror to the community and reflect it in our coverage. Okay. But I'm not going to engage people on social media or the internet or any space where we can't agree on basic human decency. If we can't agree that human beings, regardless of the geography of where they were born, all feel the same emotions and deserve humane treatment, there has to be a better way to enforce immigration law than upending families and terrorizing children. For many of us, this isn't a politics think piece issue, okay? For many of us, our parents, our grandparents came into this country and worked these fields, worked these farms, and did so to create a better life for future generations. And you don't have to think too hard and look too far in our community to see the fruits of their sacrifices, even in journalism. What's happening is it's horrifying and it's indefensible how these families are being treated, regardless of your view on immigration or illegal immigration. We have to agree on a sense of human decency, and these families should not be separated. That's what I say. CM Punk, my alter ego, would certainly say a lot more. Hit subscribe. Um, yeah, hit subscribe. Have a great day. Thank you.